Hello. Sorry about the poor lighting. It's just I've only got this really bright light at the back of the room in this room, and the position of the chair is that it's behind me, and well, it's really awkward to find a place for the camera, but it doesn't really matter. There's barely anyone that listens to these live streams at the moment anyway. And if you do listen, then my appearance and the state of my home isn't important in the slightest. I'm surprised I'm making a live stream at all, given my acknowledgement of where I am in terms to life, the pains that are currently structuring my day as the seconds tick past. And realizing what that means in terms of life. It's a case of there isn't any. I don't have a future. The only future I have is at present many years of a very brutal therapy to rectify at least one specific element of what's constituted my current problems. Thereafter, all the other problems I can't even think of at the moment. And my life was finished with those a few years ago, to be honest. So I make the live stream nonetheless, because of everything I've just said, and because of the belief that I could be, and I very well am likely to be, in a coma. That's how can I put it for you? That's where my energies are going to go. And being in a coma, I'm alone within myself. And really and truly within that place, every live stream I've made has been to myself. Within your image. So it's just, the title today was to state that. I can't deal with the sound of my voice again. It's very, very arrogant in its almost haphazard and intoxicated tone, at least to my own ears, that I don't give any energy to, but my mental health forces me to speak in that force manner. And the only thing I can do at the moment really to focus without causing myself further pain is to do some tattooing. I haven't been taught ever, and I've just done a relatively large circle, cleaned away the excess paint, and it's all been removed. So I've got to go over it all over again. But that's the learning process. and thinking that when I go back to my real life, tattooing is something that I'm going to take with me. It's something that incorporates many different aspects of what I've learnt within this dream coma state. From healing to expression, art, a lazy man's exercise, and I've always been into fashion and clothes since a young person. Clothes don't really matter anymore to me. In the same way, I've worked in fashion, retail, and I appreciate what clothes offer the body, but I've really and truly just simplified them down to two aspects, and that is appropriateness and comfort. So appropriateness to whatever situation we're going to go into. So if you're going to work in an office, you're going to likely wear a suit or a shirt. If you're going to go and chill out at home, you just might wear something baggy to keep warm. If you're going to see friends, whatever you appreciate wearing. And that's what I always knew of fashion, is it's not a case of really what you wear, it's how you wear it. And I'm comfortable to that level, really and truly, at least most of the time, from what I can guess at the moment, without a clear head to say with any certainty. But I'm pretty much most of the way there. And being in that place, you kind of realize, well, that's on the outside, and then you've got your body on the inside, and then there's the skin in between. And the pain of my life in the media, I can't focus, and tattooing is one of the only things I'm able to do with any real life, without being deflated or something making my life even harder and taking away my energy. I'm able to just sit and tattoo. I've got a machine here that I use to help with the tattooing. It's for health, and I can use it for health, and I do. But I realised if I apply it to tattooing, it helps lift the skin, adds a level of pressure under the skin, and pardon me, improves the tattoo on the skin. So that's that little bleeping that you can hear in the background there. And there's nothing more to say. I mean, where I am, I know the reality of my mind in terms to my past. So in other words, Imagine living your life, and as you live your life, all those experiences constitute the current state of mentality to life. Within that mentality, it creates a specific type of emotion. So in other words, you can imagine a 16-year-old teenager who's just fallen in love, what their mind is going to be like and what their emotions are going to feel like. Fast forward another 10 years, you've got marriage and everything else that have been added on top, a reality of the world, an application to earning money for work and survival, some sort of learning that's gone in between education or life experience. And that really, really happy, light, love-based state, it's going to be a little bit more grounded, a little bit more dense, a little bit more real. And you give or take for the average person how they're going to be when they're 20s, and then the same in their 30s. But due to our past, it constitutes our current life. My past really ended about 5-6 years ago in terms of what I was able to endure as a mentality to life. In other words, really and truly in that time, my mentality to understanding life and the world was such that I couldn't and I shouldn't have been allowed to accept any more life placed first. Just given up the ghost, so to speak, sat down and waited for life to come and heal me, because I was incapable of really living on any level. But again, the mindset was one of ignorance. The mindset was one of not understanding what it means to be alive in the first instance, what it really constitutes to see the world and see reality for all the good and all the bad, and understanding that pretty much every human, if they were aware just the basics of what it means to be alive in this world, modern times, from the moment they're conceived, we should be sitting down and waiting for healing to come and find us from the moment we exit our mother's wombs. It's a hard statement to say, but from my life, that's what life has shown me. The world, as a result of the world, being honest with life, kills humans, kills the human spirit, it kills the ability to get up and try. But imagine a newborn baby with that awareness. They get to the age of 10 and they can begin to understand language and relate to their parents, at least. Their parents can then turn around and say to them, your scars aren't yours, your scars are everybody's. You have your body, you have a certain amount of time ahead of you. Now, go out and try your best to heal the world from the age of about 10. And the child, I imagine, will take on a warrior-like spirit to the challenge that life presents to them, and they will try their best. And they'll be able to oversee a lot of the problems that come their way in the pursuit of a greater good, something that's beyond themselves, knowing that they don't really have a chance of life without the whole world being healed first. And they go to work at the age of 10, and they endure the pain of the world, and they're constantly striving to be there for everybody. In truth, I imagine it's not something I can say for certain, but I imagine thought of self, so in other words, personal gain, thought of relationships, thought of money, thought of holidays and everything else won't be there, because in truth, with understanding of how we're killed in spirit by being alive in the first place in this world, it's an impossibility. Unless it's from a practical level, from a practical perspective, and that is, we have to manage our energy, we have to manage our bodies, we have to manage what we can give in any moment, because we are a physical body first. We can't perform a miracle and all of a sudden gain all the energy in the world. We have to rest sometimes, and if it means going on holiday to get some sunshine for rest, then that would make sense. But otherwise, you're on holiday. You're not on holiday. You're not there having a good time. You're not there going out partying and drinking. You're not there for a all-inclusive unlimited buffet and a swimming pool. No. You're there just to rest and recoup, get some sunshine, and go back to work after a week, because a 2-week holiday is too much for the mentality that we're born into in this world. And after living this world and getting knocked down and knocked back countless of times, the pain of the reality in the first instance of the world begins to get to the mind. The mind begins to break, realizing slowly that it can't heal everything. It can't achieve what it needs to achieve, so it can live. And the experiences time and time again really get to the body, get to the mind, get to the heart, get to the soul. And I don't know how long it would be. I imagine a 10-year-old with the appropriate mentality born into this world possibly last 20 years, 15, 20 years of giving good energy to life and the world in terms of healing. And then they break. They realize that what the world has put in front of them as an ultimate reality before they've even lived. And they've gone to work trying to heal the world, which was an impossible challenge to begin with, but they've they've had their input, they've had their little say on the world. At that moment, that's when death should come, I guess. The mind should just break in absolute entirety. Oh, camera is auto refocusing. But that happened for myself. That sort of state happened for myself. Maybe a year and a half ago. That's when it really set in. 2 years ago, something like that. And more and more problems keep getting put on my plate, and I'm unable to deal with them, not knowing how to live life. But the strange thing is, I'm pretty sure I shouldn't be alive, just through experience to the mentality of the mind, being able to take on all of that pain and pressure of life, of existence. It would create a brain hemorrhage or physical disease at least. But for whatever reason, and this is what adds to me believing I'm in a coma, I'm still here. I'm still awake. I'm still making live streams. I'm still tattooing my body. And more pain has been added on and added on and added on, and I'm unable to deal with it on any real level. And I go into this constant flux between that place of death, which was my limit, and the reality, which is above my limit. And so if the reality of the situation is up here and the reality of what I was able to endure, my death, so to speak, was down here. Well, right now I'm speaking from down here, but I'm not often here. Life keeps wanting to push me up to the reality, and I can't deal with it. And I've been up here for the past few weeks, and I've seen an even greater pain and pressure that's been added on top, that's way up there. And all I can do is feel what that means, because I can't mentally process the pain of what it means to be way up there, and I'm not able to go past down here. And well, I've been going round in swirls and everything else, and I got put down here today. And when you're down here and everything's above you, it's a case of nothing's real, and you shouldn't be trying to work stuff out. But I saw that this thing up here, that was way up here, that I was praying to be healed, was unhealable. So in other words, I know at the very least I'm way, way, way up here, at the very least. And this is after living a life of Superman sort of thing, in terms of what we've just said about healing the real problems of the world and trying your best. And in that place, I can't stomach the fact that whatever's taken me around this merry-go-round over the past week or two to see this thing way up here, down here, and then to realize it's unhealable down here, and then to be in this oblivion state down here where I'm not able to really feel because of, well, I shouldn't be able to feel after the age of 10. And then I've put a load of scars on me. Then I got broken for a few years, time and time again, more and more pain until I died. So there's no feeling, there's no life, there's no mind down here, there's nothing. And then I got told that all this thing way up here is unhealable. And my mind knows it, this thing up here, but it can't even admit to itself that it knows it. I don't know if that makes sense. It's because the pain of what that means is like pain of what that means is like total enlightenment. Because to deal with this pain way up here, the only way you're going to be able to deal with that on a mental, physical level is if the body's enlightened. We're talking about the consciousness of Jesus and Buddha and Lao Tzu and all the great masters that have been. And I'm a dumb idiot 36-year-old that's just tried for spirituality and has got some of the way there. But I'm down here, and to know that I have to be enlightened to deal with this, and knowing that what that means, and knowing that I'm never really likely to achieve enlightenment, it's so painful. It's only like half my brain can accept that reality. That's the best way I can describe it. And the other half of my brain is in complete denial. So I've got an action plan in place of an unorthodox healing program to deal with that. And I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to put it into place. And that's just to be able to function. And that's like a 10-year brutal healing program to deal with just accepting this. And then I'm back down in death state to deal with everything that was before me. But I guess that's the process of the coma. Ultimately, I need to be fearless within a world that is impossible to be fearless within. I need to ride this curse of my mental health into a place of insanity. To find any chance of grounding just down here in the first instance. I'm going to need to ride insanity in a very brutal way with the intention of healing through a very, very unpleasant aspect of what it means to be human. And that is what it means to be human in 2022. So I'll say goodbye to myself now.